Though I didn't ride the section between Salt Lake City, Utah and Sacramento, California on my 2021 trip, I had ridden portions the year before. I'd explored alternate trails in California and helped fill in some gaps in the draft Pony Express bikepacking route through central Nevada. These scouting rides were out and back day trips, which meant minimal gear and no trailer, and they were still tough. Some sections were the most technical trails I'd encounter on the entire Pony Express route. Crossing the Great Basin gives a whole new meaning to social distancing. There are no towns and nowhere to reprovision on the route for nearly 400 miles from Eagle Mountain, Utah to Austin, Nevada. The nearest towns along the route are McGill and Eureka, Nevada, each around 30 miles off the track. I've driven the trail from Fairfield, Utah to Ibapaw on a historic tour led by Octa Trail experts, but I have yet to see any of the trail between Ibapaw, Utah and Dry Creek Station east of Austin, Nevada. Since I completed my ride, Bikepacking Routes has published a guidebook for Jan Bennett's Pony Express bikepacking route. Still, I'm not tempted to cross the Great Basin, at least not on my own. I don't doubt my ability to make the ride, so much as my desire not to have to rough it, to use Mark Twain's phrase. Nevada has a couple of unique features. Trail markings are different there. In some areas, there are orange carcinite posts stamped with the Pony Express brand, XP. In others, there might be a wooden post, or even just a stripped and burnt tree. West of Austin, I used trail indicators made from pipe, with different sections of pipe pointing out the direction of the trail. Nevada also has the most misleading roadbed, known as playa. The surface looks solid, but bike tires break through easily. The wet ground beneath is as impassable as the mud back in northeast Kansas. I rode these playas in the dry month of October, during a drought year, and I still had to follow rivulets and off-road vehicle tracks to avoid getting stuck. There's lots of sand in Nevada, and very little shade. Wide open views, some fun, fast sections, and some very loose climbs. Riding there is a challenge for any bikepacker, but well worth the effort. The California portion of the trail starts at South Lake Tahoe. It continues over Echo Summit and follows the American River until it drops down into the Central Valley. Much of the trail through the Sierra Nevadas is better adapted to hiking than riding. Slippery Ford above Strawberry, for instance, isn't rideable at all. I know, I tried. When I was scouting the route in 2020, the trail was open, but fire smoke filled the valleys along US 50. Starting in August, the summer I rode the trail, the Caldor Fire closed portions of the Pony Express Trail through El Dorado Forest. Anyone riding the trail will need to be aware of the possibility that a fire could block the route. There are historical landmarks along the way, of course. Sportsman's Hall, one of the original home stations, still operates as a restaurant. There's the Gold Rush town of Placerville, formerly Hangtown, and Folsom, which took over as the western terminus of the Pony Express as soon as the railroad reached it in July 1860. Parts of the trail follow a rail-to-trail conversion of this old railway line. The closer the trail comes to Sacramento, the more crowded it gets. The last 30 miles, from Folsom to Sacramento, is on the American River Parkway, a multi-use path that is free of cars, but crowded with runners, walkers, and other cyclists. The trail ends in Old Town Sacramento. From here, Pony Express riders boarded a riverboat to San Francisco, unless they missed the boat. Riders continued west on 20 or so occasions, and there are monuments to their route between Sacramento and San Francisco. After completing my ride, I became a member of Octa. Initially, I wanted to access their wealth of historic information about the trails, such as articles and excerpts from emigrant diaries. I have since joined a couple of trail tours led by experts, revisiting sites I'd ridden through on my bike, like Burt Ranch, as well as areas I hadn't, like the Pony Express Trail through western Utah. I've also worked with the crew looking for artifacts to verify a portion of the Carson Route Trail in the Sierra Nevadas. All of these experiences have taught me to see much more in the trails than I did even at my slow bike riding pace. I don't know that I'd consider myself a fully fledged rut nut, but I have come to appreciate the volunteers who have spent so much time preserving the trails and making them more accessible to the rest of us. The trails are out there. I hope these videos have inspired some of you to go out and discover them for yourselves.